PyCity District Data Analysis by PyCity. Scenario: you are the new Chief Data Scientist for your city school district. In this capacity, you'll be helping the school board and mayor make strategic decisions regarding future school budgets and priorities. As a first task, you've been asked to analyze the district-wide standardized test results. You'll be given access to every student's math and reading scores, as well as various information on the schools they attend. Your task is to aggregate the data to showcase obvious trends in school performance using Pandas data frames. Instructions: using Pandas in Jupyter Notebook, create a report that includes the following data in the district and school summary. Your report must include a written description of at least 2 observable trends based on the data. District summary: perform the necessary calculations and then create a high-level snapshot of the district's key metrics in a data frame. Include the following: 1. Total number of unique schools. 2. Total students. 3. Total budget. 4. Average math score. 5. Average reading score. 6. Percent passing math, the percentage of students who passed math. 7% passing reading, the percentage of students who passed reading. 8% overall passing, the percentage of students who passed math and reading. School summary: perform the necessary calculations and then create a data frame that summarizes key metrics about each school. Include the following: 1. School name. 2. School type. 3. Total students. 4. Total school budget. 5. Per student budget. 6. Average math score. 7. Average reading score. 8% passing math, the percentage of students who passed math. 9% passing reading, the percentage of students who passed reading. 10% overall passing, the percentage of students who passed math and reading. Dependencies and setup. Now let's open up the Jupyter Notebook file where our code resides. The first line of code is where we load our dependencies and set the path of the comma-separated values files to load. We will read the school and student data files and store them into Pandas data frames. We will load the schools and students data files and combine into a single dataset. And now display the first 5 rows to verify that the load and merge function work correctly. Let's calculate the district summary. Calculate the total number of unique schools by calling the nUnique method on the school name series in the data frame. This gives us a count of 15 unique schools. We will also use this method to calculate the total number of students as well. This will give us a student count of 39,170 students. To calculate the total budget, we will use the sum method on the budget column of the school data frame, and this sum total will be $24,649,428. To calculate the average mean math score, we will use the mean method. The mean method will also be used to calculate the average mean reading score as well. Now let's use the following code to calculate the percentage of students who passed math scores greater than or equal to 70. The result of the calculations yields passing math percentage of 74.98%. We will use the same code to calculate the percentage of students who passed reading in this instance, by changing the math score variable to reading score. Now the result of this calculation is 85.8% of students passing reading. In the next cell, we will use the following to calculate the percentage of students that passed both math and reading. When we run the code, the result is 65.17%. We will now create a high-level snapshot of the district's key metrics in a data frame. We want to create a dictionary called District Summary with the following definitions. This is how the district summary will look. The headers are total schools, total students, total budget, average math score, average reading score, percent passing math, percent passing reading, and percent overall passing. Let's move on to the school summary. We'll use the code provided to select the type of school from the school data frame. We will use the setIndex method to index by school type. There are only 2 school types, either district or charter. To get the calculations of the total student count per school from the data frame called school data, we will use the following: the group by and count methods to calculate the total school budget. The quotient of per school budget and per school count is used to get the per capita spending for each school. Calculate the average test scores per school from school data complete. The group by method is invoked to group by school name with the mean method to calculate the average math score of each school. The process is used for the school reading average for each school. The averages will be stored in the per school math and per school reading variables. We can now skim through the following codes. Calculate the number of students per school with math scores of 70 or higher from the school data complete data frame. Calculate the number of students per school with reading scores of 70 or higher from the school data complete data frame. Use the provided code to calculate the number of students per school that passed both math and reading with scores of 70 or higher. Use the provided code to calculate the passing rates. Create a data frame called per school summary with columns for the calculations above. To calculate the highest performing schools by percent overall passing, we'll sort percent overall passing values in descending order. This is done by setting the ascending argument to false. We'll just display the results for the first 5 rows. To get the bottom performing schools by percent overall passing, we'll set the ascending argument to true. Now this displays the bottom portion of the data frame. Now the code will sort the schools by percent overall passing in ascending order and display the top 5 rows. Math scores by grade. Use the code provided to separate the data by grade. The code created variables for all 4 grades in each high schools and passes data by grade. Now the code calculated the average math score by grade using the group by method in the school name column and mean method to get the average in the math score column respectively. The code will now combine each of the scores above into a single data frame called math scores by grade. Reading score by grade. We will use the code provided for the passing math score that yielded the results to separate the data by grade and get the average reading score. Group by school name and take the mean of the reading score column for each. Combine each of the scores above into single a data frame called reading scores by grade. Now we will quickly go through the rest of the code. Scores by school spending. Establishing the bins that categorizes the spending per student budget. This portion creates bins or ranges in groups per student budget by their respective ranges. 0 to $585, $585 to $630, $630 to $645 and $645 to $680. We'll create a copy of the school summary since it has the per student budget data frame. Then use PDCut to categorize spending based on the bins. Now let's go through each of the comments for each cell and view the calculations and output results. Calculate averages for the desired columns. Assemble into data frame. Scores by school size. Establish the bins. Categorize the spending based on the bins. Use PDCut on the total students column of the per school summary data frame. Calculate averages for the desired columns. Create a data frame called size summary that breaks down school performance based on school size, small, medium, or large. Use the scores above to create a new data frame called size summary. Scores by school type. Group the per school summary data frame by school type and average the results. Assemble the new data by type into a data frame called type summary. Lastly, we are going to go over the summary observations and findings from the PyCity School District analysis. Reading scores. Charter schools seem to have an edge in reading. This analysis found that in the PyCity schools, more charter schools showed significant gains in reading compared to traditional district schools with similar students. Math scores. The results in math follow the same trend as the reading data where charter school scores are higher than district schools. Overall scores. The data suggests that charter schools outperform district schools overall. Charter schools had a significantly higher percentage of students passing both math and reading tests at 90.43% versus 53.67%. Let's go over the budget comparisons. Charter schools have a budget over $7.3 million with a student count over 12,000 and a budget per student at about $598. District schools have a budget over $17.3 million with a student count a little less than 27,000 and a budget per student around $643. While district schools have a larger total budget, the budget per student is not significantly higher than charter schools. Thank you for watching the demo. Visit my website at PyCity.com.